if you're buying a house or you're an agent where you're like, I never really hear about the title search. Good.
That's good.
Yeah, that means we don't have any problems. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the North Carolina Real Estate Show. I am Tiffany Weber, your host. I am a real estate attorney in Mooresville, North Carolina at Thomas & Weber, and I'm joined today by a very special guest.
Special indeed.
My husband, Ryan Weber.
Hello, Tiffany. It's great to see you.
We've only been 15 years together. You're finally getting on the show. Today, we're going to talk about the flow of a file in our office. So once it hits the Thomas & Weber inbox, what happens to it then?
How are people submitting files to you? What's like the general way, or what's your preferred way?
Well, okay, I've got two different answers for you.
I gave you two questions, so that's good.
So probably the most often, people are submitting them by email to our office. And then we also have people walk in and drop them off. That happens every week.
Nice. So first thing that happens, they come in, they give you a file. They are saying, we would like to schedule a closing with you. What happens? Where does it go?
Well, first, usually there is an earnest money component of a contract. I'm going to back up slightly and say sometimes people will give us contracts before they've even gotten their offer accepted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, good luck, but
Hold
you
on.
don't need us yet. So we get involved once the contract has been signed most often. But the file kind of has a couple different paths. The second it hits our office, the earnest money gets sent to our bookkeeper who deposits the earnest money in a special trust account just for earnest money. And then the file goes to our title department where the file gets opened and then searched.
So pre-closing gets everything ready. They get it over to your title abstractor, is that the correct word? And then they search the title.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're looking for different things.
Like judgments, liens, bankruptcies.
I don't know that part. That's the part I don't know. I just know where it
Anything
goes.
filed of record that could affect the title to the property. That's what we're looking for.
Gotcha.
It's got to be, has to be findable. You know, if it's not findable, then there's a question as to whether it's legally valid. Our title work is used to draft a preliminary title opinion, which gets sent to the title company. They issue a title commitment, which is basically showing us, hey, this is the policy that we'll issue once all the conditions are met. We get the title commitment back, and then file gets moved to our closer. Now, the closer, for the people that don't know what closers do, they're the people responsible to kind of gather everything needed for the transaction. That's the person that you'll have the most contact with during the process.
So the meat and potatoes is pretty much done with the closers. They're getting everything together. That's where you pretty much have your communication back and forth of, we're missing your seller document or your seller information sheets, because that's usually something you guys never get.
Yep.
You know, hey, mortgage lender, like you'll be communicating with the lenders, or they will be like, we need XYZ paperwork so we can get this ready to close. Could be surveys they might not have sent in yet, or all of that kind of stuff.
Or if any
Don't
legal
I sound like I
You
know
kind of
them?
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with myself.
Like legal issues that might pop up after. The bulk of the legal work is done in the title process, but there's still stuff that can happen during, the more administrative closing section. So they're working with the attorneys to resolve any legal issues that come up, and then once getting everything ready for recording, and then once it's been recorded, dispersing the money to whoever's getting paid.
So we get to closing day, they come in, they sit with their attorney. Attorney goes over all the paperwork, they do the million signatures, they leave. That's still not done.
Right.
A lot of people think like, yay, you did it. Like, well, we still got a couple little things that we've got to do. Most clients don't know that. Maybe even most realtors don't know that, but there's still a lot of work that gets done on the back end.
And there's still agents that will be, and I wish I could say it's always brand new agents, but it's not, that will be sitting at the table and say, can you just bring my commission check out now? Not until it's recorded. Or they'll pull, well, so-and-so attorney did that. I'm like, no, they didn't.
Don't tell me that, because that's illegal.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to be a Karen and tattletale, but it is illegal.
And also, no, they didn't. You're just saying that because you want me to feel pressured and do something I'm not supposed to do. And I'm not going to. But once everything is signed, then we have to do a title update. And that's in the contract. So this is not something that we just make up. So we're required to, we do a title search when we get the file in. Well, it's probably not closing until 10 days, 2 weeks, sometimes longer from the date the title search is done. So we have to do a title update from the last date of the search through the minute we record to see if the seller has had anything negative filed against that would affect title to the property. So that has to happen before we can record. Once we have a satisfactory title update and know that there's no issues, the deed gets recorded, the deed of trust gets recorded if there is one, and after that, buyer owns the property and seller gets paid.
So
and agents.
Then your files go to
Post-closing.
Post-closing. So
Post-closing gets involved even a little bit before recording because they're helping break down the file and get all of the paperwork back to the lender. And then the post-closer also lets everybody know that the file's been recorded and sends them copies of any documents that are relevant to them.
And they do the dispersing of the checks, or is it the closers?
The closer disperses, but let's say there's checks that need to be picked up, or
Post-closing is the one that let people know.
Let people know and follow up to make sure that they come get them.
And then that's it. The file is closed. And then you agents send your next closing
and then
on
you
in.
send us your next contract and we do it all over again.
I mean, I've learned so much today.
Well, that's been another episode of the North Carolina Real Estate Show. Thank you, Ryan, for joining me. We'll catch you in the next one. I want to say
bet you will.
I want to say happy Friday because it's Friday when we're recording.
Happy day.
Yeah, happy day. Whatever day you're listening to this, happy day. We'll see you guys later.